Tony D and Little Joan back from Valenzano Winery in my signing, here to talk about Ricky Stanicky on a Screenwriter's Rant, a comedy starring Jon Cena of all people and Zac Efron. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Heart in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 13, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Thanks to all who came out to Valenzano Winery. I will be back. We had such a good time. We're talking about doing another event there. So, see you next time in Chemung. Next event is February 6th at Comfort Care in North Cape May for the residents there. All right, so the premise of this movie, I didn't want to like this because Jon Cena's in it. But I gotta say, it's a solid comedy premise. The premise is these three guys who are best friends have been lying to their wives for years and years and years in order to get out of certain things so they can have man time and be, go on vacation and stuff. They have created an elaborate lie of a best friend named Ricky Stanicky. And every time he gets into trouble, they all leave to go visit him, that he has all these problems. And so they do every year. They go to Atlantic City, they go to different places. So, of course, one year, it all backfires on them, and their elaborate lie is on the verge of being exposed. So they decide to hire a guy to pretend to be Ricky Stanicky, and they end up hiring Jon Cena, who is some sort of performer in Las Vegas, and he's an idiot. I don't know why they hire him. I guess because they're desperate. And he shows up and saves them. But Ricky has no tact. He is completely clueless. And he endears himself to the families and his boss, played by Macy. And Macy likes him so much he hires Ricky, whose name isn't really Ricky. And now they can't get rid of him. So at first they hire him in order to sell this elaborate lie. But now he's part of their lives and he doesn't want to leave because his life sucked before he met them. So now they're stuck with Ricky, and now they want him gone, and they have to get rid of him without telling anybody, or else they'll lose their jobs. Their wives will divorce them, and so I gotta say, it's a good premise. March 7th on Prime. And this guy, I can never think of his guy. I think he's in. Isn't he on the Orville? Yeah. So it's not bad. It's not a bad premise. Not a bad premise. So the first act, they pull their elaborate lies so they could go on vacation without their wives. And they've been doing this for 25 years. And then they're out on one of their trips and the lie blows up in their face. This guy's wife goes into labor 6 weeks early and they have to return so he doesn't miss the birth of his child. They were calling everywhere and they couldn't find them. See, they were looking for Ricky. They told the elaborate lie was Ricky has cancer and they have to go see him. So now they're on the verge of losing everything. So they come up with this idea of hiring Jon Cena. So they go out and they hire Jon Cena, who's a weird, Las Vegas performer, because he just happens to be there at the right time. It's kind of bizarre that Jon Cena's playing this role, because this role I think would normally go for a comedian, and like Cena, he just doesn't have the range to do this kind of comedy, I don't think. I mean, he was okay as the Peacemaker. I think he was okay. In Suicide Squad, he wasn't bad. Under the right direction, I think so. But they've got him built. This is just like with The Rock. They build him as a leading man, as a action star, and then they just keep casting him over and over again, regardless of the movie doing well or doing okay or doing terrible. They just constantly casted him in everything. for that particular role. They kind of do the same thing with Cena. They just keep putting him in the comedies. And like, he was okay as Peacemaker, but that was an ensemble cast, and it was James Gunn. You know, I'm not sure who does the TV show. I'm sure he's fine in that too, because I think James Gunn is involved in that. But, like, he's not the greatest comedian in the world. But a comedian in this role would probably knock it out of the park. Right? You know, like a stand-up comic guy. A guy who does characters up on stage. As opposed to Jon Cena, who can kind of do it, but he's not, I don't think he'd be the best choice. Like, out of all the people in Hollywood, I wouldn't pick Jon Cena for this role. I just wouldn't. I would pick a stand-up comic who had really good comic timing. Who would I pick? Geez, I mean, you've got the old SNL guys like David Spade, Rob Schneider, that kind of era guy. Now you might say they're too old. Okay, you get somebody younger. Maybe get Matt Rife. I don't think Kevin Hart would be right for it. He's a little too dignified for this kind of role. Somebody who'd be willing to do something a little more crazy and clownish. Maybe even Dave Chappelle. I don't think he would do it, but a stand-up guy would be good in this role. Even one of the SNL guys from the last incarnation would be okay. And would be, I think, better than Cena. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but even a guy like Jimmy Fallon would be better in this role. Because he's done this stuff. Like, Cena's kind of done it, but he's never really risen above a certain level. So why, in God's name, would they cast a wrestler to play a comedic role like this? I just don't see it. Even most actors, like Jake Gyllenhaal, like, he's a pretty good actor. This guy's got some training. I would cast him before I would cast Jon Cena. Jon Cena has some acting ability. I'm not saying the guy is untalented. I'm just saying, like, how many more comedies are you going to put this guy in? Anyhow, even the guys in this crew, I mean, the guy with the red hair, whose name I forget, he's a comedic actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He would have been better for that role. Zach Galifianakis, yes. As much as I can't stand Zach Galifianakis, he would have been better in this role. Will Ferrell. Zac Efron, he's probably better in this role. But I just don't get it. But it looks okay. The premise is so strong, I think it could almost work. And Macy, he's such a good actor. He's really selling this to me. And this is the kind of actor you want in these roles, because he lends such a gravitas to it. He is totally 100% believable as the boss of these two younger guys. 100%. I believe him 100%. And why they don't cast more guys like him in there have been movie after movie I see, and they sort of pass the older guys over. Guy like Macy, he's so good. It doesn't matter what you put him in. He's amazing, especially in roles like this. So because of that, because of the strength in that, as much as I kind of can't stand Jon Cena, I got to say this looks okay. This looks pretty watchable. Even if Cena's a little weak, I think the rest of the cast can carry him through. I do. But it's just so weird to me that they wouldn't cast Cena, a muscle-bound wrestler, like in an action role. Like in an action comedy. Maybe an action comedy. And they have. But, I don't know. He's in Argyle. He's in everything now. Hollywood just gets obsessed and they just cast people until you're sick of seeing them. Where's The Rock? Don't see him. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D. Would I see it? God, it's on Prime. I'm very torn. I'm going to wait for a review and make up my mind then. Here's the write-up. A fake Ricky Stanicky, 3 friends, and a big lie make for disaster. Childhood friends create an imaginary friend called Ricky Stanicky as an excuse for going wild. However, things get sticky when Ricky is introduced. Starring Zac Efron, Jon Cena, Anja Savix, Jermaine Fowler, and Andrew Santino. I think that's the ginger. Coming to Prime Video 7th of March, 2024. Just 2 days before my birthday. All right. So now that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Thanks to all who came out to the Valenzano Winery, where I received free wine, including blueberry wine. This is Blueberry Jersey Devil, Blueberry Forte, and they also gave me a bottle of other Jersey Devil wine, batch number 3, which is apple cider wine blended with natural flavors, maple syrup, and cinnamon. Delicious. Thank you, Valenzano. See you